Uh, Good to see you guys, and I'm glad to hear your everybody over here in Switzerland. I'm in Basel, Switzerland this evening, Basel, and Switzerland does not know exactly what it is because some of the country speaks Italian, where we crossed the border today. You got German, you got a lot of German influence. I don't need to go into that history. And so you got the Wiener Schnitzel and all that going on, but then you've got, I think, just some French influence. Switzerland is connected to a lot of different places, and so
Have you had any
tonight,
good cheese yet?
that's a good. I'll try. Yeah, I'll see because that seems like something. Oh, I was gonna really do some things. I'm gonna have like tonight. We just kind of found a place because we just got into town, and it was like a heavy Wiener Schnitzel pork, and then a whole section of the menu was Thai. And so I was like, wait, what's fried rice? And so after I did the translation, like if I can just get a hold of some shrimp fried rice, I don't really care what country I'm in. Like most people can pull that off, and it was fine. It was great. It was excellent. Switzerland does a good job on that front. So I hope to kind of. You're right though. The cheese. There are some things Switzerland because of the cows and the cheese, and there's some things they are kind of known for. And so I'm going to be here for 2 or 3 days, so I'll try to get better acquainted with all that. Tonight, I was just trying to get something in my system, and
You
then
should try to get a knife too.
I, oh, you know what? Years ago, I got a Swatch when I was in Switzerland because that's their big watch
Mm-hmm.
group, obviously watchmakers. That they're big into that. And my grandfather was a jeweler, and I lost that Swatch playing baseball, like out in the outfield somewhere or something. And I'm thinking about trying to find another watch and replace that. So I'll look for all those things tonight. I was sad our little thing didn't work there on my phone because I was in a kind of an abandoned train yard in this kind of weird. It was almost like kind of if you watch Z-Man, and I know you, Kevin, you like some film noir and all that kind of thing. It was really kind of like I thought. I mean, it was kind of I was kind of in an abandoned area, very industrial, and it was kind of going to be some interesting shots that I could
Hmm.
provide you guys with from there. But
Well, for your
yeah,
safety, I may be glad that you didn't do that. Really.
I know, but it's always about I want the best atmosphere for the show, so I'm not. My safety is not ever my concern as long as it's just me. I left my family safe with a car back at the restaurant, and I thought I could hoof it back. And as you guys know, with me and time, I look. It was 19 minutes, and I tried to do it. I thought I could make it. I think I can make it, and it just wasn't working. So good to be with you. And I tell you, this is so weird because I'm 7 hours ahead of you guys. So it's 8:45 or whatever, and it's very interesting to experience sports like this because I've been monitoring a Pirates game this evening and afternoon. They were up 3-0. It's a bullpen game for them. They were up 3-0. Connor had 2 hits to start the game. He's 2 for 2. They cannot figure out where to put Connor Griffin in the lineup, but it's just very odd to know you guys are there doing your thing, and I'm monitoring a Pirates game that's being played in a time zone 7 hours ahead. Well, wait, that's Pirate. I'm trying to think where that game is.
It'll be,
Anyway,
yeah. If it's in
there's a
Pittsburgh, it'll
lot.
be 6.
Well, okay, yeah. I'm just trying to think because it's that way. Pittsburgh. No, Pittsburgh is same as us actually. It's kind of in the mid in West Virginia. Are you saying that's East Coast?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I heard you guys talking the schedule though. Like,
Yeah.
what since we've last
Okay. So,
what's leaked? What I know what the
right.
Cowboys. We talked about that. We already know three of the Cowboys games.
Oh no, there is another
How many?
leak that actually has added to it. So
Okay,
we knew the opening, right? We knew that the Rio game against the Ravens in Week
and we do
3
Thanksgiving.
and Thanksgiving. The entire Giants schedule has leaked unofficially, but those are usually accurate on the leaks, and so they will play. The Giants will play at the Cowboys in Week 17.
At the
according to the league.
Cowboys, week 17. Oh, okay. So Cowboys opened.
Second to last game.
Cowboys open with them, and oh, see, this week 17 things will really throw me off. Okay, second to last game.
Yeah.
Giants, Cowboys. Okay, so we have another one.
Yep.
I used to back in the day be able, and that's very interesting that the Giants schedule is the one that broke, because I can say now, because my buddy's not there anymore, but there was a member of the Giants organization that would generally give it to me early.
Yeah.
And so I could start to piece things together. I used to get the Cowboys schedule early, but we promised in return for them letting us have it to be ready to publish immediately.
Yeah.
When the schedules hit, we said we wouldn't put it out there. Now what invariably somebody would sneak something out there. But back at
some organizations are more like Swiss cheese, right?
There you go. The old newspaper business, I remember, like, prior to the internet, prior to me being involved, because my first year covering the Cowboys, the internet was around. This was 2003. I covered Parcells, but even back when Jimmy Johnson was coaching, the Star Telegram and the Times Herald and the Morning News. I'm trying to think of the last year of the Times Herald, but they were like, they were in huge newspaper wars. And so they would do anything to try to break that. And I think one time, as I recall, Tim Calishaw, who you guys probably remember more from being on the Round the Horn, he and I used to have a radio show, by the way, but he showed up at Jimmy's house trying to get the schedule. And Jimmy almost never spoke to him again. Like, they ended up being friends, but that was, he learned the hard way. That was a no-no, because he had covered the Cowboys when Tom Landry was the coach, and Landry still had his name in the phone book, if you can believe that. And it was a different time. And so, yeah, they would call over when they really needed a story or some big thing was breaking. They would call over, and Alicia Landry would answer, and they'd say, "I'm sorry, Alicia, I need to talk with Coach Landry, please." And she'd go get Coach Landry on the phone. So that was a different time. I saw that the Thanksgiving games.
Yep.
Were like, we got the Thanksgiving Eve game. Now the Chiefs are playing who in that one? Do you remember?
Thanksgiving Eve is the Packers and Rams. The evening game is the Chiefs at the Bills.
Chiefs at Bills.
Yeah. We were talking about the Thanksgiving games are Bears, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills. They're all bangers.
I mean, they as if they didn't already own the holidays. It's probably smart to go ahead and take, because that's a huge drinking night for people that are back home or visiting their parents and everything. And either people are at the bars on Wednesday night or they're around the house, and so you're getting an interesting crew there. But that'll do a huge number. One of those games is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's the Wednesday, the Thanksgiving Eve one.
Okay.
And
so
the opener, the kickoff game is announced. Did you see this one? It's going to be in Seattle, and it's a Super Bowl rematch right out of the gate. Patriots at Seahawks.
Oh, okay. And so now we'll wonder if anything could happen more with Vrabel before then, because obviously that story, every time you think, well, maybe everybody will move on. There's more.
And then after June 1st, we all assume at this point that A.J. Brown will be a Patriot.
Yeah. I just think I've been interesting, because I always thought it was kind of stupid to think. I have to admit, the story has gone on longer than I thought it would. I just never thought there would be anything in doubt with Vrabel. But it's interesting that Florio and a few others really seem to be banging that drum on whether or not, because I just don't think the NFL is really going to step in here. It's not, it's stupid and it's gross and like, I mean, it's just awful, right? Somebody was pregnant, hanging out with his cummy. It's just all so dumb. But this is not like domestic violence or anything. And so I don't really know what the NFL can do here. But people that know the league really well seem to be worried about Vrabel's future. And the only thing I could think of that could, I think Vrabel will still coach in this league. Okay. This is not going to completely put him under. But something seems, there's something that tells me what could happen is almost like a Sean Payton. If you remember, he got suspended for a whole season. I'm not saying the league's going to do this, but something tells me if Vrabel wants to save his marriage, like he may have to do some kind of huge act, like just almost like suspend himself for the first two games. Like there's something to this, is what I'm saying. And I thought this would blow over and go away. And there's such a huge ick factor, not only because she was a journalist, but now the fact that she was pregnant, he was involved, she was involved. The whole thing is a mess. Okay, but let's get back on firm ground. Any other excitement from the schedules?
I mean, all the international stuff is set for sure, and then the entire week one has been leaked, but I don't know that. I mean, there are some. It just kind of depends on your team, and we already knew the Cowboys within that. What about? Have you seen anything about the NBA Combine and that scrimmage and Cam Carr?
Yeah, so Kevin, excellent work by you. As we, by the way, the landing. Let's always brag on the Brazos Landing, and I'm sorry that I don't know where Z went. Maybe Z was needed to check out, but I tell you what, I love having the Z man on too. You guys have made a really good pairing. I leave for 1 week. You're doing breaks different. You're doing them proper. I mean, everything's changed. I'm sure the company's made more money without me, and so I think everybody, whether or not I'm on Monday. Now, again, by the way, Monday's going to be an issue, but I think, and I won't do this on the air, Kev, but I think I may have a plan in mind where you and I could knock something out a little early that day. But anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at a later date. I did want to bring one thing up. Although, Kevin, what did you just bring up?
Cam Carr scored 30 in the scrimmage.
Yes. Okay. So I also watched the highlights of it, and I'm sure you saw it too, Kev. We knew he was going to have, let's see, where am I? We knew. Well, this is not a flattering portrait of me, just kind of right up my nostrils. I mean, he was going to measure well. He had the second best vertical in all of everybody. I knew he was going to be off the charts, like 42 and a half or 43 and a half or something. And I knew he would kill it in that. And a lot of those dudes they chose not to scrimmage. I kind of admire the guys who did, and you might say, well, Matt, the guys who did, needed it or whatever. Not everybody. I saw a couple of guys, like the guy from that I like so much from that was the Big 12 MVP. I love that he was out there. Not Burries, the Jaden. What's Jaden's last name? The point guard for Arizona, huh?
It's Jaden Burries. Oh, the
no, his name's not Jaden. Jaden Wilson, Jaden Smith. Anyway, he was playing in that thing, and there were a few others, but Cam just crushed it, and he was hitting threes.
Jaden Bradley.
Jaden Bradley.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I was really struggling there. Just like yesterday when I was thinking of former Sacramento Kings and I started throwing out Boogie's name instead of De'Aaron Fox. Okay, it started with a D. I was so it was so awesome to see him out there and doing so well. And I don't know where he'll go. I don't think he could have had a better combine. Um, his reach is just crazy. Like for a guy that's 6'5" without his shoes on, about 6'5" and a half or something like that. Um,
There was a mock that came out right after the lottery, and it had Cam going at 15 to the Bulls, and you might like this one. Had Tunde going number 30 to the Mavs.
well, that would be awesome, but yeah, what's really going to be fascinating with Tunde, and I hope Tunde stays in the draft. I think he wants to, but I, there are some desperate college teams out there. I mean, Kentucky just didn't get who they went after. Like I still am a little bit worried of the haymaker five, $3 to $5 million offer if that would sway Tunde. I don't think the Bears. They just don't. They're not going to be able to do something like that. But anyway, I think for the most part, I'm trying to think. Oh, I did hear this because I like all the little nuggets and rumors the uh, that come out of the combine, and they really think Kev and Z, if you're still there, they think that Koa Pete might. They're advising him to stay in the to come back
Oh,
and play college because man, a lot of times we think, well, it seemed like everybody had a great combine. I think he was 6 for 25 in that 3-point deal, and Koa's a big dude, but he doesn't have the footwork nor the power of like Boozer, and he's just not that good, quite honestly, in as Boozer. And I think he could come back and make huge money in college basketball. So I'm seeing people talk about that, and I just thought since that's a Big 12 angle, I thought that was interesting. You know, one thing we haven't talked about a lot, Kevin, is that as much as I love him, he's a great friend of mine. We were fraternity brothers at Baylor. Texas Tech did not seem, at least according to the experts, they did not have a good portal. And that's odd because they're great at identifying portal people and they usually have a lot of money. So I don't totally understand that. But as I told you, Kev, I mean, you and I were debating a little bit on why Kentucky had such a bad. I mean, that one. I mean, it's still. I think maybe I'm still stuck in the blue blood thing, where I'm just like, how does Kentucky not get anybody they want? And the truth is, St. John's and Indiana and Illinois and UConn,
Louisville.
they all have huge money, and their money is just as good as Kentucky's money. Now, let's be honest about something too that's unfair that we need to admit, and Kentucky people have to admit this too. Calipari, given the same amount of money, let's say he has the same amount of money as Mark Pope, is a million times better recruiter. He just is.
Yeah.
You might say, well, he hasn't always coached up to his talent, and he doesn't have as many national titles as he should. That's all fair. But in terms of recruiting, I think he's the best recruiter who's ever lived, pound for pound. And I think the NBA draft backs that up, over the years, like his numbers in the draft. Is there anything else? Is there any? Oh, oh, oh. can you update me on Baylor men's tennis Elite Eight?
It will. Is it today? It's happening.
No, yeah, it was 9 a.m. this morning.
All right.
So, while you're looking that up, let me
Mm-hmm.
just say this. Um, I I thought I was so proud of
They lost to Texas.
ah, how bad
Four
did it
one.
say?
4-1.
So we don't know if they got the doubles point or just one of those singles points.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. And you know Texas is awesome, and they might very well win the national championship, but it's a
Baylor
real bummer.
did get the doubles point.
So had all the momentum and a lot of excitement to start
Yep.
that match. That was a 9 a.m. match there in Athens, Georgia. That was tough. At the end of the show here, and we're already into the next hour, so I guess we better end it at some point. But I did want to say a shout out to, oh, by the way, Kevin Garnett's daughter committed to Michigan volleyball.
Oh.
Um, Kev, Baylor women's golf just
Mm.
the other day had one of the gutsiest performances. It was nip and tuck. And coming down the stretch, that was at their home course. A lot of pressure when you host the tournament because everybody thinks it's your home course. This is the one you play the most. Like you should dominate. And through the
Right.
first two rounds, they were fine, but they were kind of right on the edge. The top five teams get to go to the NCAA championships, and they had done it for like I don't know 5 or 6 straight seasons, and and they they on their last 6 holes they had 6 birdies. Like they finished with this unbelievable flourish, and they finished third. They finished easily in, and they were like they had the top score of the day. I think they were as a team they were maybe like 6 under as a team for the day. So just a huge performance by Jay Gobel's team as the Baylor women. The Baylor men's tennis season comes to an end in the Elite Eight, and that's a bummer. I was in touch with Michael Woodson just the other night because I love that team. Um, so there you go, man. But I thought that was awesome with Jay Goebel. Now, Kev, last thing, and you let me know if you have any other updates you want to
Yeah.
share. But I just looked, and we have a four-way tie, and they're still on the course, right?
It's 2 o'clock
It's
here.
three. What time is it there?
2 o'clock here. 3 o'clock
Okay,
on
so
the
we're
East
about to
Coast.
say goodbye. So plenty of people still on the course at the PGA Championships. What I'm saying, and they're playing that thing near Philly, I think, and Potgatter, uh, Potgieter, he's from I think he's from South Africa. Jaeger, who is from I think maybe from Germany. Um, and then anyway, it's a very interesting four-way tie for first place right now, and the only big name, and of course I didn't put him in the pool like an idiot. I always want to put him in there because he's incredible in majors. Xander Schauffele is the biggest name, and a major champion is tied for fifth. Um, I would imagine some of these guys are just simply not out on the course yet. I did see Spieth is tied for 12th, and he finished 1 under, which is really good for him to get off to a decent start in the majors. So, Kev, unless you have, I was just going to look down. Baylor's Jimmy Walker is even through 6 holes. He is Baylor's only ever major championship winner, and he won the PGA Championship back in. Oh man, it's been a while now. 2000 like 14 or 2011 or something like that. It's been a good number of years, but still, Baylor golf's greatest moment ever. Jimmy Walker, former Baylor great, winning a major. So anyway, I was seeing where Scheffler was. He is just getting out, just getting going. He's through 2 holes. He's even, so he's fine. Justin Rose, I think, is playing in his group. He's the same. He's even through two. And I'll just give you one who had an awful day. Let me look down here and just see. Oh my gosh, this is honestly the greatest field in golf. I was going to give you one really awful day, and looked like seven. Bryson DeChambeau, who of course we don't know what he's going to do with his future. He may just pivot once this thing goes away. That live, he may just go to YouTube. Well, not that there's anything wrong with YouTube, but he may just do YouTube golf videos. That's what he's kind of talked about. And he finished six over today. Awful for Bryson DeChambeau. As the live comes to an end and DeChambeau goes out and just shoots a huge number. I feel a little bit bad for him because he's had some kind of personal issue recently, which he hasn't said what it is, the family issue. So I want to give him some grace, and I want to give Phil Mickelson some grace because he's got something going on really rough with his family, and he was not able to play in the Masters nor the PGA Championship, which he last won in 2019, I believe, or 2021, when he was already 50-something years old. Kev, did you have anything else you wanted to share? Did you see how the Pirates finished, by any chance?
I did not. Nope. But we did talk about Skeens yesterday and kind of the tear he's been on, and I may take a jaunt over to the Ashcraft place and see if we can get him on the show.
Do you know where the family lives?
Mm-hmm. I do, and I'm friends with his dad on Facebook, so let me reach out and see if we can get that happening.
Man, I tell you, we got a lot of contacts over there between you and Barfield and all our who is it, Peyton, John Simpson, who watches us. He's a longtime teacher and coach over there at Robinson School District. Does an incredible job. We got a lot of people who have ties over there. Boy, John Simpson. They don't come any better than John and Sean Simpson. He and his wife. All right, Kev. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, and
I wouldn't recommend you staying up till 2 a.m. to watch the NFL schedule be released, but for the rest of us, when it happens at 7 a.m., we can watch that. There's no NBA games on tonight. They have blocked it off for the NBA schedule, so the Spurs play tomorrow, and then I believe the Pistons and Cavs will play Game 6 on Saturday, so Spurs got a chance to put it away, and then the Cavs have a chance to put it away since they stole Game 5 in Detroit.
Yeah, I heard Harden. I did not stay up and watch that game, but I heard Harden was awesome.
He had 30 and 9, I think, but Kate had 39 himself. It all came down to a no call at the end of regulation. Of course, a no call in a tie game. Zach and I both contended that's probably the best call in that moment is a no call because it was kind of a 50-50 ball.
Boy, my last producer in radio before I came over, he was one of those that you if it's a call, it's a call, and there's never a time for a no call. Letter of the law. And I do think there are times you got to swallow the whistle. And boy, when I would make that point, I mean, it would just set him off beyond belief. He's probably watching right now.
I am a firm believer of let the players decide decide the game, not the refs. That's what it's just a dirty feeling.
Shout out to all my producers over the years: Kevin Hoosier Hall, Sean Dodge, the late great Mark Frito Friedman, Scotty Swingler. The list goes on. It's Aaron Sexton over to ESPN Central Texas. Of course, Steven Simcox, the great one. Garrett, who's over here doing work now for us. Garrett Ross. I mean, I tell you, I've had them all and have enjoyed most of them. Really all of them, to be honest with you. But, boy, the great Simcox, Kevin, that's another guy you would love getting to know. and he's out there in McGregor. He's part of the great Waco community there. All right, Kevin, excellent job. Good work again. And then
all right, get some cheese, some chocolate, and be a Swiss Army knife over there.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll see you soon.